the screen before I start the next story, or like before I start reading the story. Alright, so we're also going to be doing some mic fluffing today, so sit back and relax. Let's read some Reddit stories. They're not really stories, but okay, here we go. Alright, so the first one, I have 4 stories tabbed up for you guys, and this first one says, how do I, 22 non-binary, tell my lifelong best friend, 23 female, that I just don't really like her anymore? TLDR, me and my lifelong trauma bonded best friend are growing into different people, and hanging out with her is emotionally draining for me, but I don't want to hurt her feelings. Okay, let's jump into it. I, 22 non-binary, have been friends with Abby, 23 female, since we were 12 and 13 respectively. We met at a local church where we quickly bonded over mutual emo kid interests and later over both being queer. Then my mom found out about us being queer, just friends, sharing our feelings about mutual friends, but not with each other, and freaked the F out, isolating me from her and causing a whole lot of drama in the church and between our families. After a few years, and things calmed down around 16, we reconnected, and by then we were trauma bonded by what my mom put us through. We slowly started hanging out again as I was getting older and could drive, and my mom couldn't keep a tight leash on me or who I chose to hang out with anymore. By the time I turned 18, I quickly became a raging stoner, and me and Abby would basically hang out all the time and smoke. It started during quarantine, between me working and doing online college, and even after quarantine ended and I was forced to move closer to my college, I still made time to come out and see her regularly. We would get together, smoke, and watch shows. This has been our dynamic for the past 4 years. We've stayed friends through multiple respective relationships, and now we're both with long-term partners and settled into more adult lives. We still get together on occasion, but I find myself enjoying her company less and less, and I hate it. I don't find our conversations fulfilling or interesting. I have issues with her lack of communication when texting/making plans, and I find myself pointing out things that annoy me about her more frequently. For example, the last time we hung out and there was an ad break, she complained about how working and paying taxes is annoying, I guess to make conversation, but I didn't really know what to say because, yeah, we all know. Why would you want to bring that up and dampen the mood? And earlier, I brought up how my fiance and I have been in a tight spot financially, and after I got done talking about that, she started talking about this vacation she and her fiance went on, and all the money they spent on the hotel, food, concert, etc. It just felt a little tone deaf after I just lamented about how stressed I am about money. We also have very different interests. She's very into strange pets, insects, reptiles, etc., getting her nails done and watching TV. I'm into artistic things like pottery and photography, as well as video games. I'm not saying that people can't have different interests and still be friends. It just seems like we have nothing in common but weed and some TV shows anymore. Similarly, we also have different mannerisms. Like, I'm not a big talker and don't like to just fill the silence, but I think silence makes her anxious, so she tries to fill the void with whatever she's thinking. I just feel that we have grown into 2 very different people, and that's okay. I've just been finding that spending time with her has been emotionally draining, and sometimes put off seeing her for that reason. And then she'll say, like, I miss you, and I feel bad responding likewise because I don't mean it, but I also don't want to upset her or stir the pot. So here's where I'm at. Having a direct conversation with her about this will be extremely difficult, as she is very sensitive, and I know she will take it all personally, and I don't want that. She's not a bad person at all, and the last thing I want to do is make her feel like she's doing something wrong. She probably will also start crying, and I cannot handle that with my own mental health. She casually apologizes over literally nothing, so I know a tough topic like this would break her heart. I don't really really want to ghost her after all these years because that would be so SHIDDY. And she doesn't deserve it. And it would be literally out of nowhere. Plus, neither of us really have other friends anymore, as we've all become so busy working and being tired. So how to let my lifelong friend down gently without being an a-hole? So this post was posted like 2 hours ago and they already deleted it. I just refreshed the page to see if there were any comments. And there's a few. One of them is way too long, so I'm probably not gonna read it. Well, maybe I don't think I'm gonna read it. Okay, so what do I think about this? Let me see. I think, like they said, it's okay to drift apart and not like feel the same connection to your friend anymore. Like, it just happens. People get older and they have like they said, different interests, and people just grow apart, and that's okay. It is gonna be like a difficult conversation, and yes, their friend might cry, and it's gonna be very emotional journey for them. I mean, it's like a breakup and you have so many years under your belt with this person. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but if it's really draining them emotionally and they just don't feel the need to have that person in their lives anymore, then I mean, that's just what it has to be. And at the very least, you only have to do it one time, right? So I don't know, I would say just rip the band-aid. It is what it is. You have to do what is going to make you feel comfortable and what is best for you in the long run, right? Let's read a comment or two. There's literally only 2 comments. Her reaction is in her control and therefore is none of your concern. Nothing you can say will prevent her from crying. She might not even cry at all. You need to do what's best for you and your environment. You two are not compatible, and that's that. Let her know and then wish her well. You don't have to feed into any negativity she responds with either. Yeah, that response is a little bit cold, I would say, but it's true. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about how somebody else reacts to anything. So you just have to, like I said, do what's best for you. And I don't know, like, unless this person is completely like clueless, which they might be because it seems like they're a little bit tone deaf, or she's a little bit tone deaf. Yeah, unless she's completely clueless, she might like kind of already know that the relationship is not what it used to be, so it might not come as that big of a surprise, I'm just gonna read the last part of this comment. It says, this doesn't have to be so stressful. Take command of your life. Per the example statement above, this can be done in a neutral way rather than casting it as a her issue, or you can cast the blame on yourself and take responsibility for your emotional well-being. If she gets sensitive after a neutral statement like that, then it's really on her. Just don't lie and your conscience won't bother you. If this approach wouldn't work, why? What dynamic would keep you from doing this? Okay, that's it. I'm not reading this anymore. Obi replied back and said, my mental state has been suffering the past few months, so my judgment has been clouded by constant strong emotions. But no, I don't think I'd need to cut her off completely. There is a chance that I'd feel differently later, as I'll be seeing a psychiatrist and hopefully getting better. Yeah, and that's okay to say too. Like, if this is your friend for so many years, like, then just say that. Like, be honest. And if she's really your friend, she'll understand, Alright, let's move on. We spent far too much time on this first story. Okay. This one is titled, My Boyfriend 20 Male posted me 22 male on his Instagram story for my birthday and it didn't go so well. Okay. A couple of months ago, my boyfriend posted me for my birthday with the caption saying happy birthday to my favorite Aquarius with a couple of cute pictures of us. My boyfriend is out of the closet but doesn't like to publish our relationship, so he didn't put anything obvious to show we were a couple. It's obvious. Fast forward to tonight, I was at his dorm and he wanted to introduce me to his friends, so he went down to his friend's house, his friend's dorm, to grab them and left his phone in the room. Normally I wouldn't go through his phone, but lately I've been having this weird feeling he was messaging someone else. So I opened his phone and Instagram was open. I went to the messages and the first account on top was some guy. I went through the messages and my stomach dropped. The first thing I saw was them flirting and complimenting each other, but as I scrolled up more, I wanted to cry. The day he posted that story of us, the guy who he was flirting with slid up and asked him, "Is that your boyfriend?" My boyfriend's response was, No, that's just my friend from school." I was so hurt. What was more devastating was we were together that whole day when he sent those messages. And 3 knows is crazy. 3 knows is crazy. Like, once was enough. Anyways, once I seen those messages, I took a picture of them and packed all my stuff to leave before he got back to the dorm. I wanted to confront him right then and there, but I'm not a very confrontational person, and you have to remember his friends were coming up, so I definitely didn't want them to get involved with any of it. I turned my location off and went home, and he texted me, "Is everything alright?" I haven't responded yet. I don't know how to go about this. Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, there is a very long update, but I feel like this is not your boyfriend. Just end the relationship. Okay, let's read the update though. Kind of a long update. I read through a lot of the comments, and yes, I'm fine and in a safe environment. And to the comments saying I'm wrong for going through his phone, I'm glad I did. We'll talk about that. I had a gut feeling for a whole month before this, and my gut feeling is rarely wrong. Most people wanted me to just send the pictures and then block him or text him back saying, "Well, we're just friends, so why does it matter to you how I feel?" But I just wanted to know why he did this, so I didn't end up blocking him. So before I sent the screenshot of him and the dude's conversation, I sent a list of things friends from school typically wouldn't do with each other. This included things like writing love letters to each other, cooking together, effing, introducing each other to each other's family, etc. Just a few things. He was confused, so I sent him the other guy's profile picture on Instagram and told him to go through their message and explain what's there. The first thing he said was, "Oh, that's so-and-so, he's like family to me." Me and him grew up together, and our parents were in the same sorority. I texted back saying, "I don't care about any of that. I want to know what the message would say." He responded saying, "Whatever you saw, I can clear it up to you." I laughed at the message. I asked him why he was flirting with this guy and trying to make plans to see each other. What he said next really pissed me off. He told me I was immature and childish for leaving and not bringing it up when it happened. Then I told him I don't like confrontation, and he knows this. I was shaking when I saw the messages, so I definitely wasn't going to be able to hold a conversation with him while his friends were there too. And then the excuses began. He gave me a total of 3 excuses. They just kept falling apart and getting worse. I was so mad about this one, but the excuse he used for why he told the guy me and him were just friends was because his so-called family friend didn't know he was gay and didn't want him telling his family. Bro, give me a break. I was more mad that he didn't have a better excuse. Like, what do you mean he doesn't know you're gay? You're flirting with each other. He knows you're gay. This is not, it's not that hard to tell. And when I say flirting, it was stuff like, "When can I get my hug?" Boyfriend responded, "Oh, you want more than just a hug." Like, what? So I responded saying, "He knows you're gay, everyone does, so you're lying, and saying he's gonna tell your family is a joke, like, come on." He kept saying, "No, you don't get it, and no, you don't understand my family." I texted back saying if he wanted to out you, he could do it right now for all we know, because he knows you're gay. I then texted him saying, "What makes this worse is you said he's family to you. Like, that's disgusting. After a used his brain cells and realized that excuse was terrible, he switched up real quick, and after some back and forth messages, the next excuse came through. Drumroll. The reason he flirted with him was to get him out of my DMs. Now this is when I had to take a pause and ask my friends if I'm the childish and immature one. I responded saying, you don't flirt with someone to get them away. It's the complete opposite. You flirt so you can lead to something. He said, well, that's the reason, and he stood by that. I was so mad because what? My sister can make better excuses. The last excuse was all the flirting didn't mean anything to him, so it didn't matter. At this point, I didn't care what he was saying. I was mad at everything. I asked him if he was going to ever tell me about this guy, me and this guy. Oh my god, because the way that this is written is really poor and it's hard to read. Okay, wait, let me find my place again. I asked him if he was going to ever tell me and this guy, and he said no because he didn't see it as flirting or anything serious. That's all I needed to hear to know this wasn't going to work out. He then pleaded with me saying he would block the guy and delete his entire Instagram, which is such a lie. If you know him, you know he's very photogenic. A part of me thinks he cares about his IG following more than he did this relationship. I blocked him. I'm glad that he blocked him. I'm glad that he's not involved with this person anymore, and I hope that it stays that way. Yeah, because the dude was definitely trying to gaslight him. Like, you got caught. The messages were plain as day. Yeah, I think he did the right thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if the guy does care about his IG following more than his relationship. Let's read some comments. I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks. I definitely think you should tell him that you found out what he's talking. Oh, wait. Oh, bro. I'm having a hard time reading today. I definitely think you should tell him that you found out that he's talking to someone else and that this is over for you and it's not going to work. If you're worried about him coming to your dorm, you can alert an RA. I think you'll be fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay, these comments are probably from before the update, so... yeah. Okay, that was a doozy. I have two more, so let's move on. I, 33 female, want to cancel my date and stop seeing the guy I'm talking to, 44 male, over a text he sent last night. What would you say? I've been seeing a guy for a few weeks and we still are in new phases / getting to know each other. Let's call him Brad. Last night I was out alone with my son. He's a toddler, and a weird, strange man approached me and made me and my son very uncomfortable, to the point the restaurant staff had to get involved to remove him. I get home and tell Brad the story. Instead of asking if me and my son are okay, he proceeds to say, it's because you're pretty, haha. Sends me multiple selfies and says he's excited for our date tomorrow, which is today. I don't want to see Brad anymore. How do you cancel the date? What would you say without writing a person a decade older than you a storybook? I want it to be firm, short, non-explanatory. I'm not explaining a grown man why his behavior is inappropriate. There's 2 edits. What do I think about this? I can understand why she doesn't want to talk to him anymore. He wasn't like at all concerned about the well-being of her or her son. And yeah, I mean, yeah. And she doesn't have to explain herself because, I mean, they just met. It's very, like, in the beginning stages, so it is what it is. Okay, let's read the edits. Oh, how should she say this? How would I say this? I don't know. I'm a very blunt person, so I feel like I would just say, like, hey, I'm not really feeling this anymore, and, you know, kind of, it was nice knowing you kind of thing. Not like that, but, like, you know, I don't think this is going to work out, and, you know, I think we should go our separate ways. You know, thanks for excellently suggested by a Reddit user. Thank you, everyone. Edit 2, Brad's response was confusion and surprise, but that he respected my decision. I don't think he's a bad person. I'm just not interested. On to the next. Yeah, that's totally fair. Let's see what that Reddit user had said. Okay, ditch the explanation. He showed you his priorities and lack of concern. You don't owe him a lesson. Send this. Brad, I need to cancel our date. I realize this isn't the right fit for me, and I won't be pursuing things further. Wishing you the best. That was so eloquent and way better than what I just said. That's it. Short, clear, final. It cancels the date, states your decision to end contact, and offers no room for argument or explanation. He doesn't need a story. He needs to know it's over. Block him after sending if you feel the need. Move on. His reaction told you everything you needed to know about his character. Yeah, that was great. So OP replied and said, thank you, I used this. And then somebody said, what did he say? And then somebody replied back and said, he sent more selfies. Wasn't a great listener. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this last one because this video is getting a little bit long. This one's really short. Well, are there no comments? Okay, there are comments. Okay. My daughter, 18 female, is dating a 51 male now for 2 months. How do you deal with this as a parent? I forgot that I even chose this article. This is going to be a doozy. Okay. Hello. I've debated posting this for the world to see, but I don't really know who to talk to about this situation. My teenage daughter, 18, has found herself a boyfriend who is 51. My husband and I do not support this at all, to the point where she moved out and is living with him now. He's older than both of us, and we are worried for her, but she and local authorities say it's none of our business now. Has anyone experienced this? How do you deal with this? On top of being an empty nester now, the way this is all came to be was so sporadic and bizarre. I'm very depressed, and I just don't know how to accept this. It's been 2 months since she left. Help, thoughts, advice, literally anything you can tell me about this would be greatly appreciated. Note, no one in our inner family even knows because I'm afraid to tell them. What do you do in this situation, you guys? I feel like the only thing as a parent that you can do is be supportive and just make sure that you are there for your child when this eventually, or inevitably I should say, goes sour. Like, this relationship is not going to be, I don't see that relationship lasting very long, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I think as a parent, all you can do is make sure that you're there when ish hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? First comment says bring him on in. Oh, okay. Bring him on in and then spend the entire visit reminiscing about the good old days. Something she would not relate to about your child, i.e. Challenger exploding at 9/11 or something similar in your area. Make her uncomfortable with the conversation because she has nothing to add. If you isolate her, you will lose her. Okay, I agree with the last part. I don't know about that first part. If you isolate her, you will lose her. That is absolutely 100%. Somebody said making her realize her boyfriend is on the same level as her parents has got to give her the ick. Like, if this doesn't work, I don't know what will. I mean, potentially, but I don't know. That's not like foolproof, you know? Let's see. Somebody said kill them with kindness. Coming from someone who dated older men and my parents disapproved, resisting will push her further into his arms. You have to be smart. Invite them over, treat him like you would a friend, ask age-appropriate questions. Where did he go to college? What was your first car? What kind of sports do you like? Does your husband golf? 18-year-olds think their parents are so not cool. Few things will turn a girl off like her boyfriend and her dad palling around. Kill the relationship with kindness. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes more sense than the other comment I read. That definitely makes more sense. Imagine your boyfriend is like besties with your dad. I mean, maybe that would be good in some situations, but I don't like it. It's not for me. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about these stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and